Season 3 of Go Battle League has officially begun in Pokemon Go, and as is customary from season to season, there was a move rebalance. So in this video, we'll take a look at what has changed between Season 2 and Season 3, and we'll have a brief discussion about what you need to know as far as the meta is concerned for this upcoming season. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel, trainers. My name is Oro Chris. I am your catching coach. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Appreciate you stopping out. If you're interested in Pokemon Go, competitive PvP, and basically anything Pokemon related, consider subscribing. Now, as far as the move shakeup is concerned, the folks over at Pokemoners put together this great infographic summarizing all of the move changes between Season 1 and Season 2. The first move we need to take a look at is Drill Peck. Now, the two Pokemon that this very likely is going to have the greatest impact on are Zapdos, both non-Shadow and Shadow variants of Zapdos, as well as the introduction of this move into the move pool for Empoleon. Those two Pokemon very likely are going to be seeing more play, both in the Great League and the Ultra League, with access to the now buffed Drill Peck. Now, Drill Peck's damage was changed from 60 base power to 65, so a moderate increase. Now, this applies to both PvE and PvP content. Drill Peck, not the most reliable as far as PvE content is concerned. Most Pokemon that you're relying upon for flying type damage typically rely upon Sky Attack as the primary fast move that's a little bit better damage per energy. But Drill Peck in the PvP content in Go Battle League and in Team Go Rocket encounters, this increase to damage is definitely going to help both Empoleon and Zapdos. Similarly, another buff to the flying type moves, Brave Bird. Now, this was a much greater change between Season 2 and Season 3, going from 90 base power up to 130 base power. So a dramatic increase. But as we're fond of saying here on the channel, there is no such thing as a free lunch. That increase of 40 base damage comes at the cost of a self debuff. You are now debuffing your defense stat by 3 stages. So definitely something, and that's 100% chance on that debuff. So definitely something you're going to need to be considering. I would not lead with Brave Bird unless you were potentially leading with it like Superpower on Melmetal in the Master League. You lead with this move, hope that they don't shield, and then swap out immediately after you've debuffed yourself. That's one potential strategy. Or having this move in the back on a Pokemon as a closer with that really powerful nuke potential into the battle. You're not as concerned with the debuff. Now, as far as PvE content, the change to Brave Bird also includes a buff from 90 to 130 base power. In PvE content, in gyms and in raids, you do not have that debuff potential. That is a unique battle mechanic with PvP. But Brave Bird, given the Pokemon that have access to that, this probably will not have as much of a meta implication as it would in the PvP content. Next up is a buff to Hex. Hex going from 11 energy per turn rather, up to 12 energy per turn. Now, what this means in the context of PvP is that certain Pokemon that rely upon this particular move are now moving up into a faster speed tier. Now, I'm here at pvpoke.com, and I've got a matchup, Drifblim versus Giratina Altered Form. Now, Drifblim, one Pokemon that has access to Hex, and the reason that I was talking about a speed tier, what this enables it to do, Icy Wind requires 45 energy to launch that particular charge move. When Hex was at an 11 energy per turn, 11 times 4 hexes meant that you only had 44 energy, and as a result, you could not use Icy Wind after 4 fast moves. By buffing that up to a 12 energy per turn, now 12 times 4 is, as we know, 48. You're now able to get off enough energy to launch Icy Wind on that what would be your fifth iteration of what would be your fast move. As a result, you're going to get to the debuffs more quickly because Icy Wind has that benefit of debuffing the attack stat of the opponent by 1 stage. So you're able to more quickly get the opponent's Pokemon debuffed, and as a result, you're able to weather that battle for a longer period of time. So whenever energy is increased on a fast move and it enables a Pokemon using that particular fast move to get to a charge move 1 fast move iteration more quickly, that can have really big implications as far as the PvP meta is concerned. And in the context of the Ultra League, for example, I would expect to see a lot more Drifblim in the Ultra League, one as a potential debuff, as a cheaper alternative to the Icy Wind user that most people are using currently, that being Articuno, and then also as a potential counter, now having access to a more energy efficient fast move that is going to be hitting for super effective damage into Pokemon like Cresselia and into Giratina. That's also going to help it in the overall standings for the Ultra League. Now, Drifblim specifically does max out well below the threshold for the CP cap of 2500 in the Ultra League, so you do want to have as close to, if not 100% version of Drifblim if you can get it, if you're considering it for the Ultra League, and potentially add it as a best buddy, because it is one potential Pokemon that you will be seeing or want to be using more of in the Ultra League this season. The next move that was buffed for Season 3 is Infestation, going from an 11 energy per turn up to 12 energy per turn, the same change that happened with Hex. Very likely the 3 Pokemon that this is going to have, potentially the only 3 Pokemon that this will have a great impact on, are Swalot, Weezing, and Garbodor. The reason being, those 3 Pokemon don't have very effective fast moves. This is a real benefit to them. They don't have other alternatives. The other Pokemon that have access to Infestation, Pokemon like Masquerain, for example, have access to alternative fast moves that perform better generally in the meta that they're being used. So again, Infestation very likely only going to be affecting Swalot, Weezing, and Garbodor specifically in the Great League. Now, the next fast move that was buffed for Season 2 is Powder Snow, going from 4 base power up to 5 base power. So a 25% increase on the damage for this particular fast move. This is going to have a big impact on those higher attack stat Pokemon like Frostlass in the Great League. Very potentially going to be seeing a lot more of Frostlass this season. And then also with another move shakeup we're going to be discussing in a moment, Abomasnow. You're very likely going to see more Abomasnow in both the Great League and the Ultra League, now with the buff to Powder Snow. In the Master League, Mamoswine also sees some benefit from the increase in damage for Powder Snow, but because of the stats involved with Pokemon in the Master League, going from a 4 to a 5 base power, it's not going to do that much to affect Mamoswine's performance overall. Still a very good Pokemon in the Master League, but not going to be really shaking up a lot of matchups as far as the Master League meta is concerned. And then finally, another buff for Blizzard. Blizzard, for most Pokemon, not the most important change as far as the meta is concerned, going from 130 base power up to 140. The reason being, most things that run Blizzard use it as a nuke option, and they're going to be one-hit KOing at 130, going up to 140 isn't really affecting that much. I mean, we can think about Pokemon like Kyogre. When you're able to waterfall your way up to a Blizzard and then nuke into a Giratina or something, most of the time they don't survive that, so it's not gonna matter in those many matchups. But a buff is a buff. I think the reason that they were going for it is they wanted to have more consistency as far as those 1-bar charge moves are concerned, because they did have a decrease in damage for Focus Blast, going from 150 down to 140. Here, this one, Blizzard, going from 130 up to 140. The next one, Flash Cannon, similar to what we were discussing with Skarmory, getting another potential buff for Skarmory, going from 65 up to 70, but because of that huge buff to Brave Bird, Skarmory still is going to probably prefer to use the double flying move of Sky Attack and Brave Bird. Now, the other Pokemon besides Skarmory that is most often associated with using Flash Cannon is, of course, Registeel. Very common, very powerful Pokemon in both the Great League and the Ultra League. It's evident that the nerf to Focus Blast, going from 150 base power down to 140, the Pokemon that was most reliant for sure upon Focus Blast's potential was definitely Registeel. So it's clear in my mind that this was an attempt at a spot nerf on Registeel because of how pervasive it is in both of the Go Battle League lower leagues, Great League and Ultra League. But to then simultaneously also buff Flash Cannon seems like an odd disconnect in that regard. It reminds me of what happened about a year ago now, when during the move Rebalance, promotional materials, they were discussing why they had made certain changes, and in every single description they were like, we're adding this move to this Pokemon because there's all these dragon Pokemon in the Great League, and we're adding this move to this Pokemon because there's all these dragon Pokemon in the Ultra League. They just kept talking. It was clear they were talking about Altaria and Giratina. And then they go and give a buff to Ancient Power and Ominous Wind, the two moves that Giratina was using. So it was just a very strange disconnect in that regard. This, similarly, a very strange disconnect. I don't believe that the nerf of Focus Blast from 150 down to 140 in terms of base power is going to result in any important matchups being changed. Very likely the only matchup this will have a noticeable effect is in the mirror match, and it's going to be a level playing field in that regard. It's just going to result in staying in that mirror match for a longer period of time. This may enable, if you switch out or switch in behind the opponent, you to stay in that matchup long enough to get to a second switch. That's one thing to potentially take a look at if you're considering using Registeel specifically in the Ultra League. And then finally, Moonblast, the Pokemon most reliant upon this move, and I use reliant in a very loose term because of the thickness that's involved with this particular Pokemon, that being Cresselia, not relying too much on the debuff potential, but previously Moonblast was a debuff of a 30% chance to debuff your opponent's attack stat by 1 stage. That was a reduction of 25%. Now with the Moonblast, it's going to go to 10% instead of 30%. What this ultimately means is that, and this won't change from prior iterations, your opponent's Cresselia will always get that buff or debuff on you, and no matter how many times you launch Moonblast against the opponent's Cresselia, you will never see those letters attack fell. And then finally, as far as the move shakeup is concerned, we're going to skip over the rewards for a moment. We'll discuss the new moves. We do have Braviary receiving close combat. Now, Braviary, because of its attack stat and overall higher stats in general, it is, even if you've got a 0/0/0 IV version of Rufflet, because of where it is acquired at what level, you're not going to be able to get that into the Great League. So we're really only talking about the Ultra League and potentially the Master League. It maxes out right at or near 3000 CP, so we're really only talking about this particular Pokemon in the context of the Ultra League for the most part. But Braviary getting close combat, so now having access to a fighting type move to hit those steel types that otherwise typically give a lot of trouble to flying type Pokemon. Abomasnow, as we were discussing a moment ago, Abomasnow now has access to ice type Weather Ball, so that Weather Ball, one of the best, if not the best, charge moves in the game as far as PvP is concerned. Now getting that same type attack bonus. Abomasnow also getting that Powder Snow buff. If you wanted to run it, I think it even also has Blizzard. So now it's just all these things are lining up. The stars are aligning to have Abomasnow really be set up for success in Season 3. From what I've seen thus far, as far as some practice battles and things of that sort, I think a lot of folks are ready to try out Abomasnow. If you have not acquired a high IV version of Abomasnow, previously it did not have enough tools to succeed in the Ultra League, but now with these increased damage with Powder Snow, with access to ice type Weather Ball, it now has some potential play in the Ultra League. It does max out well below the 2500 CP threshold, just like Drifblim, so you do want to get a high IV version. The Shadow variant of Abomasnow is also a little bit higher ranked. That Shadow bonus giving a increase in the attack damage for the particular matchups, so very important in that regard. If you can find good IV versions of either of these Pokemon, Drifblim or Abomasnow, consider them for the Ultra League, but you're definitely going to be seeing more of these particular Pokemon in the Great League as well. Next up, Water type Weather Ball was given to Pelipper. Now, Pelipper, up to this point, I don't think I saw a single Pelipper in prior seasons of Go Battle League. It did have some potential play in some Silpharina Cups, same typing as Gyarados, which can't be that bad of a thing. Gyarados is, a very successful Pokemon, but because of its move set and some other things that were hindering it as far as stat spread is concerned, Pelipper did not have the tools to succeed. But now with access to a faster charging fast move, Weather Ball, very powerful charge move as far as damage per energy is concerned, it now has a lot more of the tools necessary to succeed. This is a Great League only Pokemon I should make you aware of. And then Empoleon, getting Drill Peck, having access now, even though it's not a flying type, having access to a flying type move to give it some counter coverage against those fighting types that would otherwise be a real hindrance to a steel type Pokemon like Empoleon. As far as the rewards are concerned, to move a little bit further up, we've got rank 1, you're going to be getting that Pidgeot. Rank 4, Galarian Zigzagoon. Now, if you do not have it already, Obstagoon, super strong in the Ultra League as well as in the Great League. Consider adding that into your particular PvP roster. Galarian Farfetch'd at 7, Rufflet coming in at rank 8. Rank 9, you'll be getting a Scraggy, and then if you can reach the summit, the pinnacle of PvP success, rank 10, you will be getting that Pikachu Libre. And then changes to the clothing, the rewards for rank 10, you're going to have access to Green's pose and Green's clothing. So definitely something to be striving for this season in Go Battle League. So as far as meta implications, I would suspect you will see more Zapdos as well as potentially more Empoleon. Empoleon probably more in the Ultra League. In the Ultra League, you'll also be seeing, as we discussed, Drifblim and Abomasnow, but I think you'll be seeing both of those Pokemon, Drifblim and Abomasnow, in the Great League. One, they're not the most expensive Pokemon to invest in when we're considering alternatives like Shadow Zapdos and things of that sort, so I think that that's going to be a little bit more successful. But also Abomasnow, for example, having access to Ice-type moves, could be hitting for super effective, double super effective damage into a Pokemon like Altaria, and then also as a Grass-type with access to Energy Ball. Looking at the Sims, it can actually win the one-shield matchup against Azumarill. So being able to beat both Altaria and Azumarill is no easy feat, so that is why Abomasnow is definitely going to be an interesting pick this year in Season 3 of Go Battle League. As far as your fast Elite TMs from Season 2, if you did make it to rank 7, you should have received an Elite TM for end of season rewards, as well as you'll get some Stardust depending on your rank. If you have not acquired those thus far, when you're watching this video, they are subject to Stardust bonuses. So put on a star piece before you receive your rank or your Season 2 end of season rewards. Get that 1.5 times Stardust bonus, very important in that regard. But as far as the Elite TM is concerned, my recommendations, I think, as far as the fast Elite TM is concerned, if you have a Legacy Dugong as far as the charge move, putting on the Elite TM for the fast move to get Ice Shard, I think Dugong is a very strong option in the Great League. I think Zapdos in both the Great League and the Ultra League, as well as Shadow Zapdos, also a very popular pick. Either of those particular Pokemon I think would be well suited for the treatment for the Elite TM. And if you do not have it already, Lapras with Ice Shard, that is also a Legacy fast move that is very important for it to have. Lapras succeeds in both the Great League and the Ultra League. If you don't already have a Lapras with those particular moves, I would recommend that as well. I do want to thank you for sticking around until the end of the video, and until next time, happy catching.